Which older flagship is best for you? I can't really tell you that. That's something you have to decide for yourself. But there are some categories that I'm sure most people consider when thinking about choosing an older flagship. Now, everybody is not the latest and the greatest. And I think this is much my belief that most people are not buying the latest and the greatest anymore. Most people are buying the older flagships because they feel like they're getting, first of all, a cheaper price, and they're getting more value because there's a lot of things as time has moved on from older flagships. A lot of things have been removed from these flagship devices that people actually want on their device, like expandable storage and a headphone jack. Now I know for some of you out there, you're just like people just need to get over it. They're not going back to that. But I say this: we don't have to get over it. We don't have to have the latest and greatest. We could have older flagships and be content. Like me, I have a lot of older flagship devices and I'm content. I don't need the latest and the greatest. Now, sometime I may get something, a little more update just to do a review on it, but this is not a phone that I have to have. Absolutely not. Because I'm all about value. I'm all about, paying as least as possible, but getting as much as possible. And today, manufacturers are trying to give you less and less while charging you more and more. I mean, think about Samsung with the new S25 Ultra removing the Bluetooth functionality from the S Pen, which is no reason. There was no reason for that. That's ridiculous. By still charging us the same price, but not giving us anything extra like faster charging speeds for the battery. Still 45, 15, and 4.5 it's just sickening. It just is when there's so many other manufacturers that 80-watt charging, 90-watt, 120 watts. And of course, I know I'm already going to hear some people out there, oh, that's going to lead to battery degradation. Your battery's not going to last as long. That's hogwash because I've had older devices that I've had for 5 years and I've been fast charging them for all that time and I'm still getting over a day of battery life. So that's nonsense. Okay, that's nonsense. But let me get into this video now. I'm only doing, I'm not really doing this is not really a review on these devices at all. But the devices I have on this table are the 8 Pro, the Pixel 8 Pro, the S23 Ultra, and the OnePlus 12. These are all older flagship devices, not archaic, not super old, but they're older flagship devices, okay? Because now you're on the Pixel 9 Pro and the Pixel 10 Pro is about to come out later this year. And of course, we know with the S23 Ultra, the S25 Ultra got released, well over a month ago. And the OnePlus 12 came out in the end of 2023. So all of these are older flagships. I will say this. All of these flagship devices that are older on this table are top tier devices. They're all three of these devices are great devices, and I can recommend any of them and all of them because they're all great in their own right. They have things about them I absolutely love, and they have things about them I don't really like all that much. And that's going to be, excuse me, that's going to be the, issue for most phone. Like you're not going to find a perfect phone that does everything perfect, but you can find the perfect device for you. There's never going to be a perfect device. It's just not going to be that. But of course, I hear people saying this was the best phone ever created and stuff like that. And if you feel that way, ain't nothing wrong with that. More power to you. But let's talk about the things that most people maybe are looking for, or maybe these are things you may want to consider when deciding what older flagship device you want to choose. Now, for those that like the latest and the greatest, there's no need for you to even looking at this video because, like I said, this is about older flagships. All right. Now, if you want top tier performance and all that stuff and security updates, you want to consider a flagship. Like I said, these are not super old. All three of these devices are currently still getting security and software updates. All three of them. All right. So, what type of things should you be looking for when considering an older flagship device? The first and foremost thing I believe that people look for is the price. They want to see what type of what how much do I have to pay for this? Can I get this for the least amount of money? Because for some people, money is very, very hard to come by. And I sympathize because you really want a certain device, but you just can't afford it. You just don't have the money. So if that really great deal comes along, you want to grab it if you can. Because Amazon sometimes has some steals. Like when it comes to how low a certain phone goes, like I'm shocked at how low it is. And I'll be like, tap, add the cart, pay. Because then, and I've experienced this. I waited like a few weeks or a week later, and that phone was gone and the price jacked right back up again. So when you really see a good deal and you have the money, jump all over it. So price, I think, is the number one thing people consider when looking for older devices or just the device, period. Next, software support. Software support is important to a lot of people, not everybody, but to a lot of people. They want to know if their phone is being updated. They want the latest software, OS. They want security updates. They feel like if they don't get the latest security updates, their phone is not protected, which is really not true, honestly. But that's what they believe. It is what it is. But software support and security is important to a lot of people, and I respect that. So if that's something that's important to you, then you want to grab something where you could get at least, I say comfortably, I would say at least 3 years of security updates that's left on it. I would do something like that. Now I know for the 23, I think there's 2 more years of software and security updates on this. With the OnePlus, I think there's 2 more years left on this as well. And with the Pixel 8 Pro, I think there's about 4 years left on this. So all three of these have adequate security updates left on them and security updates. Now, for me, don't matter to me if it's not getting any more security or software updates. I'm still going to use the phone, especially if I like the phone. Only thing that would cause me to get either the same phone or get a different one is if the battery starts degrading very badly and it's just like I got to charge it like more than once a day, then it's time to let it go. But the only phone that I've gotten, I say within the last year or so, and when I got it, I guess the battery just wasn't all that great. I don't know how much it was used, but it just didn't hold up very long at all. And it was one of my Note 20 Ultras, because I have two Note 20 Ultras. One is 128 gigs and one is 512 gigs. So, that's something you got to think about. So price and software support. The next, build quality. Now, all three of these phones here have great build quality. Now, of course, I have them in a case. I usually keep all my phones in a case because most of the time my hands are super, super dry and these phones are all slippery, except for maybe the the S23 Ultra, only because of the skin I have on here. That's why it looks like this, because this is a skin. It was supposed to be the color red, but it looked more like, how could I, like orange, and I just didn't like the color. So I gotta, and I prefer cases anyway. But this is a skin. So with this skin, it actually gives me a little more grip if I decide to take the case off and want to use it without a case, which I would only do if I'm at home. I wouldn't do it, if I was out and about, because I don't want to take the chance of dropping this device and breaking it or damaging it in any way. Pay too much money for that. And cracks and dents and all that stuff would get on my nerves seeing it. It will bother me. But all of these devices have great build quality. and they feel really good in the hand. But for me, they're all slippery, all of them except the S23 Ultra because of that skin. So build quality may be something that's very important to you because you don't like cases. You want to use your phone without a case. And I completely understand that. Everybody just don't like cases. But the thing I notice most of the time when it comes to people that don't want to use a case, most of the time, all I see is damaged screens. I mean, cracked, shattered. Of course, people still using their phone anyway, but that's what happened. That's the chance that you take when you don't, protect what you paid for. But some people just don't care. If they drop it, they break it, they shatter it, they don't care. They still going to use it anyway. And having a cracked screen don't bother them. Me, I have a cracked screen. The phone is gone. I can't. I can't. It's unusable for me. But that's me. Next, what about the size, the weight, and the thickness? Some people like thin phones and light phones. Some people like thicker phones and phones with a little more heft to them. Me, I'm on the thicker, hefty side. I want a phone that's going to feel substantial in my hand. I want thickness. I want weight. The phone that gives me the most weight and thickness would be the S23 Ultra because it's wide, it's definitely thick, and it got some nice heavy weight to it, and that's what I like. Now, I'm not speaking for everybody out there. I'm just speaking for me. But this is what I like, and I think, let me see, between the Pixel and the OnePlus, yeah, the Pixel is the next heavy one, and then the OnePlus comes in third. But definitely the heaviest and thickest one is the S23 Ultra. That's what I like. I know with the newer S25 Ultra, the phone is even lighter, and I'm just not interested in light phones. Not that I'm interested in that phone at all, because I'm not. But I like a phone that's big, thick, wide, got some weight to it. But that's something you may want to consider. Next, battery life. Battery life is important because if your phone can't stay charged, you're going to be really irritated and you're not going to enjoy the device if you're constantly walking around with battery anxiety. Oh my God, am I going to get through the day? Do I have to plug in here? Do I have to plug up there? You should be able to go on a long trip, go do something and not have to even think about the battery life. That, I mean, seriously, that's the way it should be. And also, this is my opinion, but I believe a lot of people will agree with me. Come on now. You spend almost 1,000, maybe in some instances $1,000 for a flagship device, top tier, right? So you expecting to have great battery life, right? Of course you are. And you get a phone that can only get you a day. Seriously? I mean, what if you're in a situation where you don't have, your charger, you don't have no way to charge your phone up, and you just find yourself in a situation where you had to use your phone more than you thought would have to. You ain't got no way to charge your device and it's about to die on you. And you're in a situation where, you could be in a very bad situation where you need to have your phone and you need battery. That's important. Battery life is very, very important. And I'll say right now, the best battery life you're going to get on this table is from the OnePlus 12. I'm getting 2 days easily. And that's with 100% brightness, always on display, 120 hertz, and 100 and quad HD display. So 2 days, no problem with the OnePlus. Samsung S23 Ultra, only good for a day. And at the end of the day, I'm on fumes, which I don't like. Not after, using this OnePlus 12. I don't want to be on fumes at the end of the day. I really don't. And after 8 hours, I don't want to be at 50% battery life when I haven't really used the screen that much. If I've only used the screen for a little over an hour and I'm down to 50% battery, that's pathetic. That's not good battery life. Want the Pixel 8 Pro? I can get 2 days out of this phone too. And this has a 5,400 milliamp hour battery. This is just a tad over 5,000, and this is 5,000. But the best battery life between these three is the Pixel 8 Pro and the OnePlus 12. Now I know for you Samsung lovers out there, if, like I said, I use my phone differently than you're going to use your phone, so battery life is going to vary. You could be a heavy gamer. And if you're heavy into gaming, of course, you're going to eat up the battery a lot. Or maybe you're somebody that uses the camera a lot. You're going to eat up a lot of battery. So it just depends on how you use your phone. Or if you're in a area where you're getting very poor signal, that can eat up a lot of battery because your phone is constantly searching for signal, and that can eat up a lot more battery too. So that's something also to consider. So battery life is subjective, is always going to vary depending on how you use your device. But for me, 2 days, 2 days, 1 day. Well, barely 1 day. All right, next, battery charging speeds. To me, that matters because if I need to top off my phone quick, I want to be able to do it. And also, I don't want to have to charge my phone overnight. I want to be able to get up in the morning, plug my phone in, and before I leave to go to work, it's fully charged. That's me though. Maybe you're the type of person you want to charge it overnight, and that's fine too. But even if you say you get up late and you're running late, but you still want to be able to charge your device and get enough charge to get you through most of the day. Say you charge it, you plug it up, you only got a half an hour, but you get about 70, 80% in that time. You're going to be good for the day for the most part. And of course, you could always take your charger with you. But I'm saying it's just nice to know that you could have a device where you could charge it up really, really fast, even in a pinch. OnePlus 12, perfect example, 100-watt super fast charging. 30 minutes fully charged. 30 minutes. Samsung S23 Ultra, a little over an hour. Okay? I don't like that. Even though that's not that long, but it's still, I mean, when you're talking about half an hour, that matters, okay? And then with the Pixel, come on. I mean, this thing, I think about was an hour and 20 minutes now, which is better than almost 2 hours. So they have been getting a little bit better. So it takes me usually like an hour and 20 minutes for this, as opposed to with the OnePlus 6 Pro I had, which took an hour and 50 minutes, which was ridiculous. Almost 2 hours. Now, with the wireless charging, that matters too. Now, some people don't care about wireless charging. They don't use wireless charging. They've been told wireless charging is bad for your device and all this. I haven't had no issues with wireless charging. I use it all the time. That's why you see these rings on the back of these phones with these cases. I use MagSafe. Now, MagSafe is not fast. MagSafe is slow. But with the OnePlus, I do have a 50-watt wireless charging stand. So I can charge this bad boy from 0 to 100 in 45 minutes. Now with these two, 15-watt charging, which is a joke for a $1,300 phone, and for a $1,000 phone, 23-watt wireless charging. It's a joke. They're slow as molasses. I don't like that. Okay, so wireless charging is important to me. It may be something important to you. If it's about wireless charging, I would suggest the OnePlus 12. Definitely. If you don't care about wireless charging, then just disregard what I just said. Next, what about the cameras? Now, when it comes to cameras, that's extremely important to a lot of people, not everybody. For me, I want a good camera, but it's not the main issue for me. All the stuff I named so far is more important than the camera. If I can get one phone with a good camera, I'm cool. So if I have a secondary phone, it don't have to have a great camera. It don't. But I will say, on this table, all three of these devices have great cameras. They just do. You know, I've done reviews on all three of these, so you can check those out at your leisure. But all three of these devices have great cameras and a lot of zoom, like 100 times zoom. Now, the zoom, I think it was hard to say off the top of my head, but I know the zoom for the Samsung is very good, and the zoom for the OnePlus is very good. Google, I think, is really good too. I don't know if it's good as these two. I just don't remember. But at the end of the day, if you're just a point and shoot type of person like I am, all three of these cameras are going to be great for you. And like I said, for some people, for a lot of people, camera is important. Next, design. Now you can see that all of these devices have a unique design to them. All three of them, their designs are very different. I like them all. But of course, my favorite is by far the OnePlus 12. I just love it. Looks so elegant. It looks luxurious. I love the look of this device out of all three of these. And I would say second would be the Pixel 8 Pro and then the S23 Ultra. So design matters to me. It may not matter to you, but it matters to me. I want a phone that I can look at and be like, wow, I really like the way that phone looks. Not something ugly, be like, oh God, I can't stand the way this thing looks. I can't. Like, okay, I'll give you a quick example. With the new nothing phone that just came out, to me, those phones are hideously ugly. Hideous. I mean, that design is horrendous to me. I mean, it's straight up but ugly. So you ain't gonna see that phone on this channel. You just not. I can't stand the way it looks at all. Initially, I didn't like the look of the 8 Pro, but after I bought the 8 Pro and I kept looking at it, I'm like, wow, the design is really not bad at all. I mean, it's really not. I mean, but that nothing phone, I'm sorry, that thing is straight ugly. I think what it was, I had the 6 Pro, right, where it had the bar just go all the way across and it was all black and all the cameras were hidden. And I just didn't like this silver trim or aluminum, whatever this is, around the camera initially. When I saw it, I just didn't like the design. But when I watched a bunch of videos, then I bought it, I said, oh, snap. This thing is not bad at all. I actually like it better than the 6 Pro now. And I didn't think I would like this design over the 6 Pro, but I do. I really do. And I love the matte finish and the softness of this. Even though it's matte, it's nice and soft and silky. But I definitely love this design now. No question about it. So design is something that may be important to you. It is definitely important to me. Next, speaker quality. Now, speaker quality is extremely important to me because most of the time I like to watch content without headphones. Honestly, that's just the way I prefer to listen to videos or listen to music. I don't want headphones on. Now, if I'm at the gym, of course, I got either earbuds or regular headphones in my phone because they're always playing music in the gym that I don't want to listen to, or I don't want to be listening to people's conversations. It's like when I put my own music on, I'm in my own little world. And, sometimes I like to be isolated. I don't want to be bothered. I'm just in my own world, want to do my thing. But usually and I want my speakers to be loud, but I want them also to have some richness of sound, some really nice stereo sound. I want it to sound good. I don't want it to just be loud and tinny. No, I want it to be full. Samsung, they're not bad, but they're okay. They decent. I'll say that. They're not bad. They're decent. OnePlus 12, man, fullness, nice stereo sound. Love the speakers on this device. Absolutely love them. The 8 Pro, love it. Just as good as the OnePlus, but slightly louder. That's the only thing that the 8 Pro has on the 12 is that these speakers are slightly louder. But I think the OnePlus speaker sound overall is a little bit better than the 8 Pro. But Samsung is not competing with either of these devices. Okay, and all three of these devices have dual stereo speakers. But if sound matters to you, then choose wisely. I say the best speakers are the OnePlus 12, then the 8 Pro, then the Samsung. Next, features. Now, features may be very, very important to you. I know I want a phone that has a bunch of features also. Even if I don't use them, I want them. I want them to be on it because I feel like I don't want to get a phone that's boring. Now, for some people, they want that stock Android experience. They don't want a bunch of features. They don't want a lot of customization. Then you want the Pixel 8 Pro. Okay? If you want that stock vanilla Android experience, then this is the phone that you want. You want the Google device. But if you're somebody that's just you customize and create, you want to change everything and you want a whole lot of extras and you want your phone to do this and this and that. You want your phone to do things that nobody else's phone can do. Then you want the S23 Ultra because Samsung with good lock and One UI, you're going to get it all. And to me, they have the best Android skin on the market. That's just my opinion. That don't make it fact because some people think Google is better. Some people like OnePlus better. It just depends on the individual, what operating system you like the best. Me, I'm a One UI guy. But, and I've said before, for those of you that may be new to my channel, the OnePlus 12 is my favorite device, period. Now, the S23 Ultra is my most used device, and it's the device that my SIM card. Well, I got three numbers, so I got three SIMs, but this is my main phone. This my SIM never comes out of this phone, but I'll go back and forth with my secondary device. Most of the time I'm only carrying two devices. Every now in the blue moon I may carry three, but it's very seldom. Most of the time it's just two. And so I'm with AT&T. I got two AT&T SIMs, and then I got one T-Mobile SIM. And I had to go T-Mobile because of in some instances with the Chinese phones that I get, the ones I get imported, they won't work on AT&T. So, and then I don't have Verizon, so they don't work on AT&T. So they will work on T-Mobile. Everything that I get, wherever I get it from, always works with T-Mobile. So T-Mobile is that carrier, in my opinion. Even though I've been with AT&T now for almost 30 years, but T-Mobile is that carrier that I can use any phone. Don't matter where it comes from, it'll work. All right. All right. So features are going to be important. Now, OnePlus does have some features on it, and they have nice features, but they don't compare to One UI. It's just not even close. Okay. So that may matter, but if you want that Pixel launcher, that stock Android, you go with the Pixel. If you want to go crazy, S23 Ultra. If you just want to be just a tier under that, then you may want to consider the OnePlus 12. Next, operating systems. Well, I kind of touched on it just a moment ago, but you got Oxygen OS, you got One UI, and you got Pixel software. Which one is the best for you? You have to make that decision. Do you want that stock Android experience? Do you want to be able to use all the Google services? I'll give you two of my favorites on here. Call screening on here is absolutely awesome. Nobody else has it. And also speech to text, which on here is better than any other Android. Now, I say Vivo is close, but the thing that makes the speech to text on here different is when you could say everything and it types it for you, and then you say send and it sends it without you even have to press the send button. There's no other device out there on the market that could do that except a Pixel device. That's unique. And that call screening, that is off the chain when you can literally screen all your calls, without having to answer the phone, but you can find out who's calling you. That is just, that's just unbelievably good. I love that. I just love that. With One UI, of course, tons and tons and tons of customizations. You also, when it comes to features, you have the S Pen, and also you have Samsung Dex, and of course you got Samsung Smart Things too. So it just depends what's important to you. If it's the S Pen or if Samsung Dex, or maybe it's just One UI in their customization, there's something you may want to go with Samsung. With the OnePlus, now this phone is sold here, but you can't get this phone through a carrier. They used to be connected to T-Mobile, but they're not anymore. I don't know what happened, but what Oxygen OS is still great, definitely customizable. And I will say this, between all three of these, because I don't even think that I put this down, I should have. Performance is, if performance is important to you, you're going to get the best performance on the OnePlus 12, hands down. Not saying Google is a bad performing device at all. Even the S23 Ultra is not a bad performing device at all. But the OnePlus 12 is superior when it comes to overall performance. This phone is unbelievable. I'm telling you, super fast and super silky smooth and reliable. I mean, it's just these other phones just can't compete when it comes to performance. That's my experience because, as you know, as you can see, I have all three and I've used all three for a very long time. OnePlus is in a category by itself when it comes to performance. Then I will probably go with the Pixel. I mean, I don't know. I between these two, they kind of even when it comes to performance because Pixel used to be a little faster, a little smoother. Even when I used the Pixel launcher, I wasn't like overly impressed with the performance. I just wasn't, honestly. Like I'm a little more impressed with Samsung than I am with the Pixel. I mean, if I'm being not, and I'm not saying the Pixel got has bad performance, but I just think Samsung is just. I think they're kind of even keel, or Samsung is just a slightly. I find the performance slightly better, but all three have great performance. But the OnePlus stands out on its own. It's just the best, the fastest, and the smoothest. Next, maybe presentation is something that is important to you. Okay, presentation means what do you get in the box when you get your box? Well, you very well know with Samsung, you're not getting nothing. And with the Pixel, you're not getting nothing. But with the OnePlus, you're going to at least get a charger at the very least and a case. Okay. And I respect that. And their presentation is better than both of these. The presentation for these devices are an absolute joke, and nobody should be okay with that. It's just pathetic, especially if you're paying that much for a device. You want a good presentation, that should matter. It matters to me. It ain't gonna matter to everybody. Next, the display. Now, I think that's something I was getting ready to do, and I got sidetracked. The display. The display for me is extremely important because I want a bright display. I want a sharp display. I want a colorful display, and neither one of these phones is going to disappoint you when it comes to display. All three are absolutely phenomenal because all three are using Quad HD. Now, I don't know if Samsung sold their panels to these two manufacturers or not. I'm not sure about that. I don't know, but I know all three of these phones get really, really bright, and that's what's important to me. They get, I mean, very, very bright. I mean, just let me, if you're still with me, I'm sorry. Composition. If you're still with me, you can see how beautiful this display is. That'll get together in a minute. Sometime that wallpaper get stagnant. I don't know why. You can see, and there's an extra toggle button where you can make this screen actually brighter. There's an extra brightness toggle, but it's definitely beautiful. And everybody knows Samsung. They consider Samsung to make the best displays on the market. But this Google device here, this 8 Pro, this device gets stupid bright. I mean, it's the brightest one out of all three of these devices by far. I mean, it gets crazy bright. I thought the OnePlus was going to be the brightest, but it ain't touching the Pixel 8 Pro. It's just not. You can look at it and see, even though it's the bottom wallpaper hasn't come in yet, but you can clearly see the Pixel is a brighter device easily. Okay. Even when you look at the Samsung, you can still see this is a brighter device. Okay, this has the biggest display, the widest display. All three of these are like, well, I think the Pixel 6.7 and this is 6.8 and OnePlus is 6.8 inches, but this is definitely the widest and the biggest device out of the three. But you can see that the Pixel is definitely brighter. Even when like this now, sometimes these may look neck and neck, but trust me, the Pixel gets brighter. It just does. But these two are brighter than the Samsung. But when it comes to display, you want a great display, and you're not going to be disappointed on either one of these devices. You're going to get a great display, especially if you use it at 100% brightness like I do. Probably most people don't use their phone like that. But if you do like to use 100% brightness, you're not going to be disappointed with either three. Next, this may be something you may want to consider too. Is the phone good for gaming? Now, I'm not a gamer, so I can't tell you what, if these phones are good for gaming. I believe they are because they all have flagship chips in them. So the only one that may not be ideal for gaming, I would say maybe the Google because of the tensor chip. It may overheat or whatever. I mean, I've heard some bad things about the tensor. Now, I haven't had any issues with the tensor chip that's in this device, but I don't know if it's ideal for gaming. I don't know because I don't game. I know Samsung will be fine for gaming, no problem. And the OnePlus will definitely be fine for gaming, no problem. Only one I'm not sure about is the Google Pixel. I just don't know because I'm not a gamer. I don't game on my phone. So if you're a gamer, you can't afford a gaming phone because gaming phones are very expensive. Then if you're thinking about looking at one of these, I would say the Samsung and the OnePlus 12. I'm just not sure about the Google when it comes to gaming. Next and final thing you may want to think about when deciding if you want an older flagship device is AI. Are you into the AI movement? I'm not. I could care less about AI. I have AI on my Samsung that I have not used since it got updated with AI. I haven't used it not one time because I don't care. It's not something I actually need. Something I may use at some point, but I'm upset by the fact that they're going to start charging people to use AI. I think that's ridiculous. You're already paying a bunch of money for the phone. Now you're going to charge me for something that's already built into the phone. Like that's nonsense. So I could care less about AI, but you may be somebody that do care about AI. Google is loaded with AI. Of course, Samsung is too. Only one that really don't have a bunch of AI, it has very little. It will be the OnePlus 12. But if you're somebody that don't care about AI, that's not going to matter to you. But for some people, AI is the thing now. This is what they're trying to sell their phones with now is who has the best AI. But nobody wants to be the first to tell how many to start charging to see who's going to charge what for the AI. Everybody's kind of sitting back and waiting. So we'll see. But I'm not paying for AI. I'm telling you right now, I don't need AI. I could care less. But thank you guys for taking the time to view this content. I had no idea it was going to be this long, but I wanted to share a lot of information with you. When you're considering if you're considering an older flagship device, these are the things that you just might, these are the things I think you may want to consider. Price, software support, build quality, size, weight, and thickness, battery life, battery charging speeds, cameras, design, speaker quality, features, operating system, display, presentation. Is it good for gaming and AI? And if I miss something, my apologies, but I try to cover as many things as I could and things that are really important to me. So I hope you guys stayed with me to the end. And if you didn't, it's okay. I know most people can't watch things but so long because our attention spans are not as long as they used to be. I mean, I know that for a fact. Even mine's not long as it used to be. All right, so thank you all for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. I hope everybody's staying safe and staying well, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.